four gospels really contradict each other? Not at all. The differences that we see in the gospel accounts actually strengthens the resurrection rather than discredits it. A contradiction is when statements are opposed to one another, opposite to one another, or when inconsistencies are present. So let me explain. The differences in the four gospels actually reflects true eyewitness testimonies. People in law enforcement know this. If you have ever listened to J. Warner Wallace, the cold case detective who used his unique skill set to determine that Christianity is true, he will tell you that eyewitness testimonies almost never agree on the minor details. Why? Because they give an account from their own perspective of the events, taking into account their viewpoint, their personality, and what they feel is most important to describe. As a matter of fact, if eyewitness testimonies matched perfectly, that's when you should be suspicious of conspiracy, of collusion, of coaching. So that now the gospels differ, they do differ on minor details, but they all agree on the main events: that Jesus was tortured, that he was crucified, placed in a tomb, and rose from the dead. So how many women were at the tomb? Matthew says 2, Mark says 3, Luke says 3, and several others, while John only mentions 1. The main woman that they all highlight, though, is Mary Magdalene, probably because she was the main person retelling what happened. But who discovered the empty tomb? The women. Also note that if they wanted to fabricate the whole thing, they wouldn't have mentioned the women at all. But each writer highlighted who they felt necessary to highlight. And again, how many angels were at the tomb? 1 or 2. Again, this is a minor detail. Matthew and Mark report 1, while Luke and John report 2. But they all agree that there was an angel who spoke to the women. It's plausible that Matthew and Mark only felt it necessary to mention the one who was speaking. So the gospel writers and the early church fathers and those who carefully copied the New Testament over the centuries had plenty of opportunity to change the accounts of what happened so that everything would match up, but they refused to do so. This actually shows its authenticity. This shows that there was no collusion, conspiracy, coaching, or lying. This shows that the gospel accounts are reliable because they actually hold the true characteristics of true, real life, eyewitness testimony.